Some celebrities have lots of money, or maybe I should say had. I'm your host Michaela, and today we are talking about the top 10 richest celebrities who are now broke. And make sure to subscribe if you enjoy our content because it really helps us out. Starting off this countdown at number 10, Michael Jackson. When pop superstar Michael Jackson's troubled life ended in 2009, it wasn't obvious he was in financial distress. With hindsight, it should have been clear that tens of millions of records sold and countless sold-out shows weren't enough to support a lavish life poked by legal troubles and questionable investments. Jackson's mental health struggles prevented him from touring during the last decade of his life, hampering his earning potential. Though he never declared bankruptcy, he likely would have no choice had he lived that much longer. Number 9, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp has been acting since the 1980s. He's earned as much as $20 million per film and shared in the profits of some of the biggest hits, including the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Yet as his star faded and outrageous spending habits began to bite, Johnny Depp nearly lost everything. He's back in the upswing today, however, financially at least, but never officially declared bankruptcy. Depp's financial troubles became more than a mere rumor in 2017, when he sued his longtime business managers Joel and Robert Mandel for fraud, among other things. In 2016, the Mandels hit him with an ultimatum. His cash was nearly gone, so he'd have to sell his beloved French estate and other valuable possessions or face financial ruin. To say that Depp was hands-off with his own finances was an understatement. But even he was shocked that he'd managed to burn through $650 million since 2000. Depp's lawsuit accused that they'd mismanaged his fortune and taken way too much for themselves. They fired back in a countersuit accusing him of refusing to curtail his selfish, reckless, and irresponsible lifestyle. Johnny Depp managed to avoid declaring bankruptcy thanks to large part to the long-running success of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, from which he earned more than $300 million in combined salary and profit sharing. But then there was a legal battle between Depp and fellow actor and ex-wife Amber Heard. Financially speaking, Depp came out ahead, with the jury ordering Heard to pay Depp $10 million and Depp to pay Heard $2 million, though it remains to be seen whether the affair will damage his reputation and dent his earning power. Number 8, 50 Cent. Curtis James Jackson III, better known for his stage name 50 Cent, was an instant sensation when he burst onto the hip-hop scene in the early 2000s. Over his career, 50 Cent sold more than 30 million albums and earned dozens of music awards, including a Grammy and 13 Billboard awards. At one point, he was the second wealthiest hip-hop artist in America behind Jay-Z. 50 Cent's music sales steadily declined after peaking in the mid-2000s, along with his income. Despite scattered business successes, the rapper spent heavily on a lavish lifestyle featuring Rolls-Royce automobiles and the same Connecticut mansion Mike Tyson lost a few years earlier. He publicly shared a tape featuring a rival rapper's ex-girlfriend, triggering a lawsuit that cost him $5 million. He also lost more than $2 million on Sleek by 50, a headphone venture, and was then hit with a judgment totaling more than $18 million for allegedly stealing the design for that product. In 2015, he declared bankruptcy to restructure and slim down these obligations, losing much of his fortune in the process. Number 7, Donald Trump. Former President Donald Trump came to fame as a bash New York real estate developer with an outrageous hairstyle, high-profile romantic exploits, and a gift for self-promotion. Trump inherited the family business from his father Fred Trump, a successful New York City builder and landlord. 6 Trump-owned businesses filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the 1990s and 2000s. 5 were gaming enterprises, including the famed Trump Taj Mahal and its parent company, Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts. Most occurred during or following the major real estate downturns of the early 1990s and middle to late 2000s. The first bankruptcy filed in 1991 was arguably the most devastating for Trump's lifestyle. Trump funded the $1 billion Trump Taj Mahal with loads of high-interest debt. Within a year of opening, the property was more than $3 billion in the hole, and Trump was personally on the hook for $900 million. Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts was more than $1.8 billion in debt when it first filed for Chapter 11 in 2004. So overall, to summarize, he's broke and a really stupid person. Number 6, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather earned more than $1 billion over the course of his fighting career. Yet by 2020, Mayweather had persistent rumors that he'd blown his entire fortune. His bizarre decision to charge over $1,000 for a private video call, a trivial sum for a multi-millionaire, only heightened speculation that he was drowning in debt. So did a 2022 bout with YouTuber Logan Paul that was widely criticized as a cynical publicity stunt. Halfway, number 5, Mike Tyson. Widely regarded as one of the greatest boxers of the modern era, Tyson exploded onto the screen as a junior boxer in the early 1980s. He earned the WBC heavyweight champion title just 4 months after his 20th birthday, becoming the youngest boxer ever to reach that mark. According to a 2003 report by the New York Times, Tyson earned approximately $400 million during the first 18 years of his boxing career, but all the money in the world couldn't help Tyson. Out of the ring, he had multiple run-ins with the law, including an assault conviction that landed him in prison for 3 years. Tyson finally declared personal bankruptcy in 2003. He's devoted his time since to rehabilitating his reputation. Tyson ranked in $30 million per fight at the peak of his career, but bled money as readily as he earned it. In 2003, the New York Times detailed his lavish spending on everything from jewelry jewelry, mansions, and vehicles to Siberian tigers. In December 2002, he bought a $173,000 gold chain on credit, adding to the $27 million in debts listed in his 2003 bankruptcy filing. Tyson's largest debts included a $17.4 million in tax liabilities to the US and British authorities, a $9 million divorce settlement with former wife Monica Turner, several million in obligations to a gaggle of lawyers and producers, and more than $300,000 to a limousine company. His largest assets including a Connecticut mansion he sold to fund the divorce settlement and 2 extravagant Las Vegas properties. At the time of his bankruptcy filing, Tyson was pursuing a $100 million lawsuit against boxing promoter Don King, who Tyson claimed robbed him out of millions of dollars in revenue. In 2004, he settled with King for $14 million. Tyson was then bankrupt after losing most of his physical assets and setting aside a substantial share of his future earnings to pay his creditors. Number 4. Wesley Snipes. For a minute in the 1990s, you couldn't walk past a movie theater without seeing Wesley Snipes' name, but the action star's one-liners couldn't hide an accumulation of poor financial decision-making forever. Between 2001 and 2006, Snipes just didn't pay federal income taxes, at least not anywhere near what he owed to the IRS, despite earning millions every year. A 3-year prison sentence and nearly $10 million in penalties was a result. But I mean, maybe follow the law and you won't have that issue. Number 3. Curt Schilling. Veteran Boston Red Sox pitcher Curt played through a nasty ankle injury in 2004 World Series, helping his team win the championship and erase an 86-year curse in the process. He had then founded a small game development company in 2006 and appended his involvement after retiring in 2009. A slimmed-down version of the game titled Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning debuted at Comic-Con 2010. The fact that 38 Studios was run by a well-regarded New England sports icon made the company's ambitious plans easier to swallow. In 2010, Rhode Island state government approved a $75 million economic development loan to 38 Studios. The loan rode to the company's promise to complete its planned games and create 450 jobs in the small state within 2 years. Within a year, it had become obvious that 38 Studios would not meet its timetable. The company then failed to make $1.1 million loan payment to Rhode Island, stopped making payroll, laid off its entire staff by email, and went bankrupt. Though Curt avoided criminal penalties and personal bankruptcy, his reputation as a businessman was ruined and his personal finances suffered greatly. According to the Toronto Star, his $50 million net worth at retirement shrank to just $1 million in 4 years, forcing him to sell off prized personal possessions that included a bloody sock from the 2004 championship run. Number 2. Michael Vick. Gifted NFL quarterback Michael Vick is best known for the infamous dogfighting scandal that brought his career to a temporary halt and forever tainted his legacy. Vick's 2007 dogfighting conviction resulted in a 21-month prison term and forced him to declare bankruptcy the following year. Previously, Vick ranked up some major achievements. In 2001, he was selected first in the NFL draft, becoming the first black quarterback to earn that honor. He reached the playoffs twice with the Atlanta Falcons and made 3 Pro Bowl rosters. And then it all fell apart. First, he spent money freely during his early career and managed his wealth poorly. Apparently, he earned nearly $40 million per year at his peak, an outrageous rate at the time even for a top-tier NFL quarterback. Vick made some poor investing decisions too, including a $1.6 million bet with a business partner who used his money to buy cars and inflate his own salary. Vick then filed for bankruptcy petition in 2008, listing assets of less than $50 million against debts of up to $50 million. Now coming in at number 1, Nicolas Cage. Many people don't realize Nicolas Cage is Hollywood royalty. Cage found success in a string of romantic comedies through the 1980s, then switched to dramatic and action roles through the 1990s, earning his way into the Hollywood A-list. He pocketed an Academy Award for 1995's Leaving Las Vegas and was nominated for 2002's adaptation. According to Finance Buzz, he pocketed $150 million between 1996 and 2011. During that time, he earned $20 million apiece for blockbusters like Gone in 60 Seconds and National Treasure. However, by 2009, much of Cage's fortune had vanished in a hurricane of lavish spending, and the star faced legal troubles that further added to his financial debt. Starting in the 1990s, Cage embarked on a decade-long buying spree to rival Mike Tyson's. His rumored purchases extended from the normal to the bizarre, but all were expensive, including several supercars, rare jewelry, a shark, a crocodile, 2 king cobras, at least 1 dinosaur skull, a private jet, a pyramid tombstone in New Orleans cemetery, a 26-acre Rhode Island estate, a private island in the Bahamas, and so much more. Later, the mother of Cage's eldest son sued him for $13 million and ownership of her house, which was at the time in Cage's name. Ultimately, Cage lost his California home to foreclosure, though he had the last laugh when it failed to sell at auction, perhaps due to its questionable decor. He also lost a smaller Nevada property to foreclosure and offloaded many of his exotic personal possessions to pay off his debts. But that is all. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.